Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. In the previous video, we have discussed about the harmonic oscillator and the quantum mechanics treatment. Okay. In this video, we are going to discuss about a new topic, that is angular momentum in quantum mechanics. Okay. This is called angular momentum in quantum mechanics. In short, we have written QM. Okay. This angular momentum, there are various cases are there where angular momentum involves in quantum mechanics. So before starting this angular momentum, we should know two vectors. That is, first one is position vector and linear momentum vector. So let us say what is position vector. First, we will discuss about position vector. It is generally denoted by R. Okay. Suppose in Cartesian coordinate, in x, y, z, there is a point. This is x, y, and z. There is a point P, whose coordinate is it is x, y, z, and its distance from the origin, this O, it is R. Okay. So in this case, the position vector represented by R. This position vector, it is given by the vector summation of the three coordinate vector, that is x, y, and z. Sorry, this should be y and k into z. These are the three vectors along the three coordinate. Okay. So I, j, k, these are the unit vector along x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. So the operator correspond to these vectors are represented by x for x coordinate, and the operator for y-axis generally represented by y operator. For z, it is z operator. Okay. These are some postulates of quantum mechanics we have already discussed in the very beginning. So there is a commutator result for this position vector. This position vector x, y, and z, these are commuted with each other or commuted with itself also. Okay. So result we can write, result for this position vector, we can write the commutator of x and x is equal to 0, whereas commutator of x and y, this is also equal to 0. This you should remember. Sometimes question may ask from directly from these points. Okay. So what is position vector? These are the vector summation of the three coordinate, that is x, y, and z for a point x, y, p, x, y, z. Okay. Now we will see what is linear momentum. Now we will see number 2, that is linear momentum of a particle. Linear momentum is represented by p vector. Okay. So consider a particle of mass m. Okay. Mass of m, it is moving with a velocity along x-axis with velocity vx. So along that direction, we know velocity is a vector quantity. So along that direction, the momentum of that particle will be given by px. It is m into px. So if we consider the 3D condition for 3D system, for three-dimensional system, the momentum, it is given by p. It will be the vector summation of the three quantity px, py, and pj. Okay. I, j, k, these are three unit vectors along x, y, z axis. Okay, this is the linear momentum vector. So now let us see what are the operators for this linear momentum. So operators for px, py and pz. Operators for px, it is given by h by twice pi I dd of x, whereas operator of py, linear momentum along y axis, it is given by h by twice pi I dd of y, whereas pz, it will be h by twice pi dd of z. These are the three operators for linear momentum. So let us see some commutator algebra of linear momentum. This linear momentum px, py, pj, this all commutate with each other, or it also commutate with itself also. Okay, so commutator result, if you see if you consider the commutator of px and py, this will be 0. Okay, again if we consider the commutator of px and pa, this will also be 0. These are some commutator algebra we have discussed in the previous class when we discussed the commutator thing. Okay, so commutator of x to the power n, this is a position vector, and px, this is given by I into h cross n into x to the power n minus 1. This is the important result. Question may ask from this result also. Okay, sometimes these are, sorry, there will be a minus here. Okay, so let's have a screenshot of it. Now we will discuss about angular momentum of a particle. This is the third part we are discussing, that is angular momentum of a particle. Okay, it is generally represented by L vector. So you see, let us consider a particle at point P from the, here it is O point from the P. Okay, this x, y and z. Suppose this particle is rotating around this point, this is origin, suppose it is the origin along a circle. Okay, this way. For this particle from this distance, it is r. For this particle, the angular momentum L, it is given by the vector product of this position vector and the linear momentum of the particle. It is along the tangent of that point. Okay, this is the angular momentum. Angular momentum of a particle, it is the vector product of the position vector and the linear momentum of that particle, and this direction will be along this direction, perpendicular to this plane of rotation. This is the direction of angular momentum. Okay, we know that for a particle at x, y, z, the position vector, it is given by x, y and z, and the linear momentum vector, it is given by px, py and pz. Okay, so vector product of these two terms will be like this way. You have to do the vector product in a manner. Let us consider the unit vector first, I, j and k, and arrange the x, y and z this way, and px, py and pz this way. Okay, so for I, you consider these two rows, okay, these two columns. So for I, y into pz minus z into py. For k, you consider these two terms, okay. Here you write here px and py, z into px and x into pz, z into px and x into pz. Similarly, for z axis, this should be z, this should be k. You can write x into py and y into px. Okay, so these are the result of vector product of R and P. Okay, just have a screenshot. So this product can be written in terms of, you see, these are the unit vector, okay, along x axis, y axis and z axis. So this term can be represented by the angular momentum along x axis. This should be the angular momentum along y axis. This should be the angular momentum along z axis. So this can be written in terms of Lx, Ly and Lz, where Lx it is ypz minus zpy, Ly it is zpx, xpz, and Lz it is xpy and ypz. Okay. So now we'll see what is the operator, corresponding operator for this angular momentum Lx, Ly and Lz. So angular momentum along x-axis we have found it y into p of z minus z into p of y. Okay. So let us consider the operator along x-axis, operator of angular momentum along x-axis. So for y, the operator would be y. Okay. And for pz, the operator would be hy twice pi into I dd of z. Whereas the corresponding operator for z axis, it is z. For py, it would be hy twice pi into I dd of y. Okay, so this is the corresponding operator for angular momentum Lx. So you can take common these terms, hy twice pi I. So it would be y into dd of z minus z into dd of y. So this is the angular momentum operator for Lx. Similarly, you can write the angular momentum operator for Ly also. This would be the same result. Just changes of the term Lx and Ly will be there. Okay, so Ly z into dd of x and x into dd of z. For Lz, it would be hy twice pi into I x into dd of y and y into dt of z. So these are the operator for angular momentum x, y and z. Okay. Now we'll see some commutator result for angular momentum. This angular momentum we have discussed there. Okay. So you can write L square, it is L x square factor product of L y square and L z square. This you should know, okay? That is factor algebra. So some commutator algebra we will discuss. The commutator of this L square and any of the component of this angular momentum, it is LOA 0. That is, the L square and any of the component commutate with each other. Okay? L of y, this is also equal to 0, and L square and L of x, this is also equal to 0. Okay, these are just commutator algebra. You can solve this. I just written right here to remember these points. Okay. Number 2 points. The vector commutator of angular momentum Lx and Ly, it is equal to the I into h cross L of z. Whereas commutator of Lx and position vector y, it is given by I into h cross, here you have considered, you should consider the z axis, okay, z position axis, and commutator of Lx and position vector x, this is equal to 0. Similarly, you can write L of y and L of z, it is also equal to I into h cross L of x. Similarly, you can write L of y and z, this commutator would be equal to I into h cross x. Whereas commutator of angular momentum along y axis and the position vector along y axis, this would be 0. Similarly, you can write for z and x also. Okay, this you write at your own. You just remember this in this pattern, then it will be very easy. Okay. So now we'll discuss about the angular momentum. Here we have discussed the angular momentum in terms of coordinate x, y, z coordinate. Okay, 3-dimensional coordinate. Now we'll discuss the angular momentum in terms of polar coordinate. Okay, that is r, theta and phi. Angular momentum in terms of r, theta and phi. Now we'll discuss about now we'll see how to convert this angular momentum in terms of polar coordinate. Okay, angular momentum in terms of polar coordinate, spherical polar coordinate, spherical polar coordinate. So for this, we will consider a point in x, y, z. This three-dimensional Cartesian coordinate. This should be x, y, and z. A point is considered P, x, y, z in the three-dimensional Cartesian coordinate. Here it is O, it is the origin, and from origin the distance from this P point, it is R. Okay. So if we draw a perpendicular to the xy plane, then we see this P point make an angle with x-axis, angle phi angle. Okay. This much would be x, and this P point, it making an angle with the z-axis theta. Okay, up to this it is clear. This P point making an angle with the x-axis phi angle, and with the z-axis it is making an angle with of theta. Then this is x, okay, this would be y, and you can draw a line over there. This is z. Okay, you name this point. This is R, this is Q. Okay, so if we consider the x, this distance, x distance, then you consider this right angle triangle. So from this right angle triangle OQS, from right angle triangle OQS, what we can write? You see, cos of phi, it is given by OS, that is OS divided by OQ. OS, it is x, and OQ, this OQ, it would be equal to the PR. Okay, so x equal to PR into cos of phi. You see this PR, here it is PR, this is the perpendicular of this ROP, this angle. Okay, so from this angle we can write, from triangle OPR, this is the perpendicular of this triangle, so we can write sine of theta would be PR divided by this OP. Okay, so PR would be OP equal to R. This much distance it is R. So R into sine theta. So here you can write R into sine theta cos of phi. So in polar coordinate x, it is equal to the R of sine theta and cos of phi, where theta it is the angle by the point P with the z axis, and phi it is the angle made with the x axis. Okay, now we'll see for y axis. For y axis, you consider the same angle here, and this length it is y. Okay, since it is the perpendicular, now you consider the sine of phi. So sine of phi, it is given by SQ divided by perpendicular divided by OQ. Okay, y divided by OQ. So y would be OQ. You can write in place of OQ, you can write PR. Okay, so PR in place of PR, it is equal to R of theta. So y equal to R of sine theta into sine of phi. So z, for z, this is the z axis, okay. For z you can write from this triangle OQR, z you can write r of cos of theta. You just consider this cos theta, it will be r divided by z. Z divided by r. So these are the polar coordinates for a point x, y, z. Now we'll see the angular momentum in terms of polar coordinate. So what are the polar coordinates we have got? X equal to r of sine of theta into cos of phi, y equal to r of sine of theta and sine of phi, where z equal to r of cos of theta. Okay, these are the polar coordinates for position vector x, y and z. Now we'll see the angular momentum Lx in terms of polar coordinate. Angular momentum operator in terms of polar coordinate. So it is given by h by twice by I y into dd of z minus z into dd of. So before doing this, now you see this transformation we are doing with some tricks, okay. At the end of the, but this tricks is not absolutely right, okay. So at the end of this trick, at the end of the result, we will do some change to make the accurate result, okay. You see here h by twice pi, in place of y, what we can write, r of sine theta into sine of phi, and dd of dz, in place of d z we can write r of cos theta, and here you can, in place of z, r of cos theta, and dd of y in place of r of sine theta and sine of phi. So you see here, in case if you derive this term with respect to d theta, we will get what? R of sine of theta minus r of sine of theta. So in place of this term d of r of cos theta, we can write minus r of sine theta into d theta. Okay. If we derive this with respect to d phi, what we can write? We can write r of sine theta cos of phi and d phi. Okay, then let's see what will happen. So if we write this term, then this r of sine theta and r of sine theta will cancel out. Here r cancel out. So h, here we will have minus of sine of phi dd of d theta, okay, and here we will have cos theta divided by sine theta, it will have cot of theta, and divided by cos of phi dd of phi. Okay, this is the Lx. This is result we are getting from the tricks, okay, by substituting the value of x, y, z. But in real, this is not exactly the same. There is a simple change in the accurate value. This cos theta in the denominator should be in the numerator, okay. So here the change we have to do, that this cos phi to make it in the numerator. Cot of theta, cos of phi. So this is exactly the result. This is how you can calculate This is the trick. So now we'll calculate same way the L of y. That is angular momentum operator in the y-axis. I am telling you again, these results are not accurate. You have to make the change at the end of the result. So let us see what is y. Y, L of y. It is equal to h by twice pi I z into dt of x, x into dt of z. So what we can write? In place of z we can write r of cos theta. In place of x we can write r of sin theta into cos of phi, and r of sin theta cos of phi and dt of, I'm just rubbing it. Okay. R of cos theta. So in place of here we can write, if we, so this is dx, okay. So d for x and y plane you should derive this term by phi. For z axis you should derive this term by theta. Okay, I am writing here for dy and dx you derive by phi. For dd of z you derive by theta. This you should remember. Okay. So h by twice pi I. If you derive this by phi, then what we will get? R of sin theta and minus of sin of phi into d phi. Okay. So this r will cancel out. Cos theta divided by sin theta minus of cot of theta. This sin phi will be in the denominator. It should be go up to the numerator. This change you should make. Okay. So dd of phi, and here you will get r of sin theta minus r of sin theta into d theta. This r sin theta will cancel out. This minus and minus will give you plus, and this will cos of phi dd of theta. Okay, so this is the polar coordinate for angular momentum in terms of polar coordinate along y-axis. Now we will see for z-axis. Just have a screenshot. L of z, that is angular momentum along z-axis, this operator it is given by h by twice pi into I, x into dt of y and y into dt of x. So h by twice pi I, in place of x we can write r of sin theta cos of phi and dd of r of sin theta sin of phi minus in place of y we can write r of sin theta sin of phi and dd of, in place of x we can write r of cos phi sin theta. Okay. So in place of this term, we can write, if this is a y, okay, so we should derive this by phi angle, b phi, okay. So this will be r of sin theta and cos of phi into d phi, and this would be, since it is x axis dx, it should also be derived by theta. If we theta angle, then we will get d cos of phi, d theta of sin theta, cos of this should be not theta angle, we should derive it by, since it is dx, it should be derived by phi angle, okay. So r sin theta into minus of cos sin of phi into d phi. This minus minus will cancel out, this term will cancel out, okay, the whole term will cancel out, and we will have, what we will have, we just have d of d phi and plus d of d phi. At the end of the result, we get h pi I d of d phi, okay, for JL. But there is a term 2 is there, okay. This change you should make it at your own, okay. So these are the angular momentum in terms of polar coordinate. So this is it for the today's class. I hope guys you have understood whatever the things I have discussed in the class. This is my first video in front of camera and the on the board. I hope this is all good. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section below by dropping your comment. And if you are new to the channel, then please subscribe our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. So guys, thank you for today's class. See you in the next class.